Hi, this is Ron McTube. Today on the Hunter, Colour of the Wild, we are doing a grade 1 hunting guide for Rancho Del Arroyo. And we're doing two, one for Rancho Del Arroyo and one for Layton Lakes. I've got three great ones myself. I'm on my fourth grind right now on Rancho Del Arroyo and Layton Lakes. This is what time I start on Rancho Del Arroyo, 9 o'clock in the morning. I hunt till about sort of 11:30 once I've done my routine of the lakes. Now we're hunting drink zone times, so it's 8:30 till 11:30, that sort of area time. I like to start at 9 because it gives them a chance to all get where they need to be. This is where I start at this first lake. It's one of the best lakes. It's really flat, you can see all round. Now there's sort of different ways you can hunt this, and I'll go over the procedure with that, but I'm just going to show you the locations first of where whitetail are on Rancho Del Arroyo and where to focus your time and where I've got my tents. Now this second lake, really good, get a lot of whitetail here, mainly on the left hand side up until that lookout point. Then I swap over the lake to this tent. I check this left corner because there's often a lot of whitetail in that area, and then you also see them over the other side when you spawn there often. So I do that, then I come over to the right, look over there, there's often a group over that side, and in this corner, when you first go into Rancho, there's normally a lot there. This third lake is very good. It's a long narrow lake. I have a tent slightly forward to save me a few minutes running to get to the lake from the outpost. You can walk there if you want, but I just do it because when you're doing a grind, you're doing this by routine numerous times a day, those minutes add up. So mainly on the left hand side is where all the whitetail are. There is some on the right hand side, but they're mainly on the left on this lake. Like I say, check all around it, give it a look, and then it's on to the next lake. But that's a really good lake. Now this top fourth one, I've got a tent at the bottom point of it. I check on the left, then the right, then I fast travel to this right tent. I find putting a tent here does really work well. Just in between those top two tents, there's not normally many whitetail there, but it works for me how I do this. I go around the lake and that's on to the next one. But that is a very good lake. It's one of the main ones, so make sure you focus on it. On this next lake, we've got a small little round lake. You do get a few whitetail around here, but not too many. I've got tents either side because it helps see both sides, because whitetail can be one end or the other. Now it's down to this big hard lake to hunt. It is a very hard lake to hunt. The right hand side's better for access. There's lots of steep little banks you have to climb and stuff. So generally what I'd say is, because there's not too many whitetail around it and it's hard to hunt, I'd actually leave a lot of these groups alone unless you see something nice there, because if the group's full, it won't get added to. Generally, that's how it normally works. It's only normally when you shoot a group and then you get respawns, they go back there if there's space. So if they're in space and you ain't killed any of them, they should stay as they are, the group. So to save time, I do that on that lake because it's quite hard to hunt. Down to this little lake on the left, some people neglect this, but there's quite a few whitetail around it. It's only very small. They often run off the back of the lake if you spook them, so you can run off the back and shoot them as they're trying to go away. But that's a really good location. Now on to our last little lake. Now this little lake is one of the most important lakes of my grind. Now the reason for that is there is a few whitetail around it, not many, and you can leave them if you want because they won't get added to unless you kill some of their group if it's at that lake. But the main reason is it ends my grind for this run. It's the last lake, and the thing is, what I do next is I get rid of the hunting pressure on all my lakes before I start my next grind. Some people hunt one lake, get rid of the hunting pressure, change the time, then go back. I wipe my hunting pressure from all the lakes I hunt by hunting other animals. So you can see my hunting pressure on my whitetail lakes we've just been over. So what I do is I finish here and I go all the way up to this lake on an ATV for a start. There's a lot of mule deer up this way. Sometimes it's 50 plus mule deer. You also get turkey and you get antelope, jackrabbits. So you get a lot of animals there, and that might even clear your whole area where you hunt for whitetail of hunting pressure in that one hunt. It can take 10 or 15 minutes and then you're ready to go all your lakes knowing that all the whitetail are there. The second area I use to dump hunting pressure is this one. It's my new favourite, this crater, right? Because I've been hunting peccary, I've sort of figured out the nice sweet spot of it. So 12:30 at night, night vision, binoculars, come to this crater. There's often, first time you go there's about 50 peccary in this hole. So imagine you kill loads of those, that's your hunting pressure gone across the lakes. Now if you've blown it like I have, and there's going to be none there. So there's a little lake behind where there's hunting pressure in a minute, and they often swap from the crater to there, and then you just do that vice versa, and that can clear your hunting pressure. And then what I'll do is, if it's cleared, I'll go back to that first tent, I'll respawn a whole day later, and then start again. If it's not, I go to this lake, same time, 12:30 till 3:30 in the morning for peccary, because there's a lot of peccary around this lake. So we're doing the same again. You could come at 6:30 as well for bobcats. There's a lot of bobcats around this lake, and just kill as many animals as possible to get rid of your hunting pressure. As soon as your hunting pressure is cleared, back to the grind. Start again at 9 o'clock. Now here's my next location. These two tents on these ridges, there's a lot of mule deer, turkeys, bighorn, sheep, pheasants, so lots of animals to kill. I slaughter them no matter how I do it. It doesn't have to be ethical, it's about clearing your hunting pressure as fast as possible. That's the thing, you want to get the most whitetail hunting time in the shortest amount of time, and you need to clear the hunting pressure so all the whitetail respawn back. So we've covered where to find whitetail, we've covered hunting pressure, which is very important. Now let's go to loadouts and weapons we're going to use. Now I've been mainly using lots of guns over the last week, trying out the best ones, and I've got my top 3 here of what I use for my grinding. The M1. Now the M1 has got the power, you can fire quick succession shots with ease, and it's, you know what I mean, it's got the power, and you can shoot numerous bullets. So that's a good weapon. The 303 is decent, and the 6.5 is, but this seems to lack the little bit of power that the M1 has, the 7mm has. So that's why I use the M1. It's a good gun, a lot of people use it. The Solikin is okay, but it's only got soft points. So over range, it's a bit of a letdown over the M1. So M1 is the first gun I use. 7mm is my favourite gun in the game. I like this because I'm really good with it. Generally, you only shoot 2 in a group. So I know it's only single shot. It's got the extra power over the M1. So at long range shots, that helps. Or if you just want to knock something down and be sure. But you generally only kill 2 whitetail in a group most of the time, so that's more than good enough for most things. Now the 243, you don't need any DLCs, you get it with the base game. It's a really good gun. When you get good with it, you can literally do whatever you want with it with whitetail. Long range, I've shot max scoring whitetails at like 400 meters. It can do it, so it's a really good gun. Obviously you can shoot quite fast in succession, so it's good for group hunting. The thing is, it's got low bullet cost, so when you're starting out, it's a good weapon as well. So I use this for other animals as well, like clearing hunting pressure because of the low cost of the bullets. And I'm trying to outfit my new reserves because I started my game again, so money does matter on that. Also, what some people do when they're grinding, some people shoot the animals and collect the whitetails. Some people just go speed running, shoot everything and don't collect them. Now the reason for this, why they do this, is if you shoot all your whitetails, do a full run like I've just shown you, close your game down. And the reason they close the game down is if you don't, the bodies won't disappear, so you won't get the respawn. So that's why they do it. The speedrunners on whitetail grinds, they'll kill them, they won't collect them, they'll shut the game down, they forward it a day, come back, and then all your respawns are there because the bodies have gone, but they won't do unless you shut your game down. So that's why they do it. And using a cheap gun like the 243 to kill animals, obviously it doesn't cost you much doing that. So we're doing a bit of hunting now. This is over the last week, so don't worry, I ain't got back-to-back diamonds all the way through. I'm just showing you what's been happening since I've been back on the grind on Rancho Del Arroyo. I'm also back on the grind on Layton Lakes. I'm doing both of them. I've been setting up my Layton Lakes set up, and I'm going to be doing a Great One guide on Layton Lakes as well. They are different, so you have to hunt them differently, slightly differently. Now this lake is a very good example of what I mean, the differences between Rancho Del Arroyo and Layton Lakes. That is an absolute massive monster diamond whitetail. That is very big. And what I mean is, this lake, for example, is very open, so it's easy to see around. So if the groups on this lake move around, it doesn't really matter, because you can see them no matter where they go. It's a very easy to hunt lake, and there's quite a few of these on Rancho Del Arroyo. So it's not like Layton Lakes where you kill 2, move on. That is an absolute monster diamond whitetail, by the way, 275, not even max weight. So you can kill as many as you want on this kind of lake, and they'll only move around the lake anyway, so it doesn't matter. So you might as well just kill as many as possible on lakes like this, instead of just doing the 2 kill method, what the community does on like Layton Lakes. You can do that on Rancho Del Arroyo, and you'll keep your zones exactly where they are, and they may move around a bit, but I think on Rancho it's better where it's open, just kill as many as possible, because you kill more whitetail in a less amount of time, so that means you should get more respawns in a short amount of time than just doing the 2 method. It's my opinion. More big whitetails, M1 to the rescue, quite a long shot, and this is why I choose the M1 along with a 7mm for long shoots, because it's got the extra power. The second whitetail there, it doesn't matter if I pull off a perfect lung shot or whatever, as long as it dies, I'm not really bothered about that. Diamonds, rare, I'll take more care of, but as long as the whitetail dies, it doesn't matter, because you just want to respawn off it anyway. It's not a trophy you're after. So how much do you reckon you'll average a day? Well, here's what I've been doing. That's another diamond whitetail, quite a decent one. I've been hunting for about a week, back on the grind on Rancho, and then doing a little bit on Layton. I'll swap in between it when I've sort of like grinding myself out on Rancho, I swap to Layton, and then vice versa. But after about a week, I've killed about 1,000 whitetail on Rancho Del Arroyo. Once you get your methods, your routine right, you can start to get a lot of whitetail quite quickly. Now this is a lake I was talking about earlier in the video. It's quite hard to hunt, and as I was saying, unless there's something nice here, I'd leave the groups here, because there's only normally 2 or 3 groups around it, and unless you're going to keep checking this area, which is going to cost you 10 or 15 minutes every time in your grind, then I'd leave them. But we've got a 3 there, so I'm going to shoot it, you know what I mean? It's another diamond closer maybe to getting a great one. That's another thing, you see. Do diamonds actually help get a great one? Is it just random? I shoot all male whitetail. Some people do just the big ones and hopefully get a diamond, and hopefully it spawns off a diamond. No one actually knows whether that's true or not, or whether it's just they come off anything. It could be a level 1 it comes off. So I just shoot all males, and it seems to work. Like I say, in the last week I've had about 10 diamonds alone. You generally get a diamond about every 100 whitetail. It might not always be that sort of average, but over the course of your grind, say you get into 2,000 and you get a great one, generally works out about every 100 kills you get a diamond whitetail. So those of you who haven't got a diamond whitetail, that's what it kind of takes. A lot of people ask, is the great one easier to get now since these updates to when they originally released? I don't actually think they are, and the reason for this is I'll tell you my story with the great ones, how it's gone on, how I progressed to eventually getting them. When I first started, I killed about 2,000 or 3,000. I got a bugged great one. This is how they originally were. You used to get bugged great ones every now and again. It was kind of frustrating, and it did make obviously the community not very happy with the bugged ones happening. But the thing is, now they've been fixed, it still takes about the same average as it used to take. But the thing is, you just don't get the bug ones. So on average, most people get in between about 1,500 to 2,000 whitetail. Some people will be lucky and get them in 1 kill, or maybe 100 kills, do you know what I mean? And you've got to average that out across the whole player base. Remember, there's over 1 million people playing Call of the Wild at the minute, hunting whitetail. So you're going to see, obviously, a lot more. A big amount of the player base. So you're going to see a few more happen. But the average is still across the board, and like I say, the average is still about the same sort of ratio to how many you really need to kill to get one. There is no fixed number, but over the whole player base, you normally have to get about 1,500 to 2,000 whitetail to get one to spawn. If you look at, I've had 2 bug ones and 3 great ones, and I'm on my 4th grind now. So I know all about it. I've killed thousands and thousands of whitetails. Diamond whitetails, I've probably got 70 to 100. I don't know exactly, but I've got a lot of diamond whitetails. Now what we haven't covered yet is how do you know when you've got a great one on your map? Well, you either see it, and you don't always see them first. I never saw mine first. I found the track, and this is what a great one track looks like. 97 to 110 kilo, and when you see that, you know he's about, and that gets the heart beating, and you're like me, looking around like, where is he? And that's when you need to be calm, because panic can set in. It is very, very exciting. When you see the track, you know everything you've been doing, grinding, has been worthwhile, and you've just got to find where the great one is. So this is footage of me getting my great one, my first one on Rancho Del Arroyo. I've got them on Rancho Del Arroyo, I've got them on Layton Lakes. But this was a very special moment for me. We had an albino in the group, we had a diamond whitetail also in the same group. What a spawn, absolutely amazing. It was gobsmacking. At first, when I seen the albino in the 3, I thought, has something bugged that? There he is, there is my great one, the first one. And it was the rack I wanted as well. There's so many different racks now, and I think there might be some that we haven't actually seen yet, so that'll be interesting. We may see different racks over the next few months coming out, which we maybe didn't know about, but there's about 9 or 10 different great one racks at the minute, and here is mine. So this guide I've made to help people to understand how to hunt them, and hopefully I brought across that in a simple manner to help you do that. And like I said, I'm just telling you my story of how I've got one and what I do to get them. And like I said, I've got 3 now, so I must be doing something right. It's not just one lucky one. So here he is, here's my great one, and I hope this guide has helped. Drop in the comments your favourite 3 rifles you like to hunt with great ones. It might not be the same as mine, doesn't mean it's wrong either way. I'm actually genuinely interested to see what you hunt them with. And if you've had a great one, drop in the comments. Are you doing a great one grind at the minute? Drop that in the comments. Like I say, it's a really big thing amongst the Call of the Wild community, and it can be really fun. You just got to make it simple, get a good routine. I'm Ron McTube. Today we've been doing a great one grind on Rancho Del Arroyo. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channels, and bye bye.